Yes, thank you. Okay, I bought this really awesome microphone and I have been using it very well. And then on Friday, my computer completely died. I was so sad. All of the videos that I've already recorded and put in iMovie ready to go, computer. So I had to take my computer to the Apple store to get fixed. I'm working off of my laptop. Means all my equipment is funky. So yay, Alex says loud and here, and Mary, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so for those of you that have already taken my YouTube for Agents course, this is stuff that you probably already know, but for everybody else who has not done that, welcome. Thank you very much for joining me. For those of you that do not yet know me, my name is Karen Carr. I am a realtor in Savannah, Georgia. I am getting the majority of my business from my YouTube channel. I am all about YouTube. This is how I generate leads. I do not call people for 2 hours a day. I do not do open houses. I do not door knock. I don't call FSBOs and expireds. I don't do all that stuff. I don't like it. And quite frankly, I don't think that people want to be cold called. In this day and age, nobody wants to get sales calls. So why would I do that? I don't want to do it. They don't want to get it. So I make a YouTube video and they call me instead. Every single person that I talk to that calls me from YouTube or sends me an email from YouTube wants to talk to me. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about finding your target audience, finding your niche, and then how to make videos that will appeal to those people. I think I'm just going to leave this up on the screen. I hope it's not in the way. I'm just going to leave it up in case people join late. And then after a while, I'll get rid of it. So cool. We're going to talk about how to identify your niche and then how to make videos to attract those people. So for those of you that have been in real estate for a while, assuming that you're not a brand new agent and that you haven't closed any deals yet, I want you to think about the last year. All the transactions that you've closed in the last year, who did you enjoy working with the most? Think of the people that you had a really fun transaction and then when it was closed, you felt like you were part of their family or you became good friends with them and you're hanging out with them now socially. What did those people have in common? Were they single moms? Were they in the military? Were they empty nesters whose kids have all moved out of the house and they're downsizing? Where they're like little grandparents and they've taken you under their wing and become part of their family. Start to think if there was a theme going on where there were the same type of clients and you enjoyed working with those people. There is a popping sound though. The popping sound is everyone typing comments. Oh God. For those of us that are technology challenged, I love that kind of stuff. Okay, so we're thinking about who we've enjoyed working with. When I moved to Savannah and I was new here, I decided that my niche was going to be military. My husband was in the Air Force for 10 or 12 years. He loved it. We were very entrenched with going to the BX and shopping at the commissary and going to the doctor at the military hospital on base, all that kind of stuff. I decided I wanted to work with military people. Therefore, I was going to make videos speaking to that target audience. Now, does that mean that you're not going to get other clients? No. This is the thing that's so interesting. I've heard it said the riches are in the niches. You think that by making your target audience very focused and narrow, that you're going to alienate everyone else, and that's just not true. I attract tons of people with my YouTube channel that are not in the military. But by me making videos where I'm speaking specifically to those people, I am very focused on what I'm talking about. I attract those people, but then I attract lots of other people too. So let's figure out what are some good niches. If you are a mom with small children and you're active in all the mom groups on Facebook and you're talking about cloth diapering and I don't know, all that kind of stuff. Would you like working with other young moms? Would you like working with that specific demographic? Let's say that they're either first-time buyers or maybe they bought a condo when they were newlyweds and had no kids, but now they have a dog and they've got 2 kids and they want a house with a yard and they want to go live in the suburbs. They want to sell their condo and buy a house. Would that be a good niche for you? Heck yeah, it'd be a good niche for you. If you really like, there's a guy in our group that works with, he calls it right sizing, people that are not necessarily downsizing, although most of the time that's probably the case, but they're getting rid of the McMansion and they're buying a property that is just big enough for their needs. They're getting rid of all their crap that we accumulate over the years, and he is helping them to live within their means and not try to keep up with the Joneses. That's Jeff Underwood, by the way. Who's doing that niche. And that's a great niche, because then you think, okay, so now I know exactly who my audience is. What sort of topics could I talk about that will appeal to that person? So the first thing to do is identify who is it that you like working with. And it doesn't even have to be as specific as the type of buyer or seller they are. It could be, my kids do Taekwondo and I go to all of the conferences, I go to all of the meets, and I am like huge into Taekwondo and I want to work with other parents of Taekwondo kids. It could be, I run marathons, so don't run marathons. This is the extent of my exercise right here. But maybe you run marathons and you want to appeal to people that like to run marathons. So think about what you like to do in your personal life, the type of people that you like to work with. Try to put together a cohesive plan of the type of person that is. Anybody that wants to buy or sell in my market, it's too broad. It is too broad. If you want to go after only listings and you don't want any buyers at all, that's okay. You're going to make videos to talk to people that are selling their house. Don't talk about moving to Savannah, because you're going to get a boatload of buyer leads if you do that. If you only want listings, then you're going to make videos that appeal to sellers. If you want to work with more buyers, or you want both, like I want both, so I make videos about selling and about buying, but I am really making the majority of my videos for people that are relocating into my area, and that's what I have started specializing in. Originally, that was for military. Then it just became everybody that's relocating into the area, and I started getting seller leads from that too, even though I was doing a lot of videos for buyers. So it just goes to show you that even if you make a very targeted niche, it does not mean you will not get other business. So don't be afraid that you're going to alienate everybody else if you figure out who your perfect niche is. If you are just joining me and you're looking at what that link is right there, you need to click that link in order for you to write a comment and me be able to see your name. Otherwise, I just get the little, the gray head, and I see your comment, but I can't see your name. So if you want me to know your name, you got to click that link where it says ecam.live. Alrighty, so we've talked about who were your favorite past clients, what did they have in common? Is that a viable market for you? For instance, maybe you really enjoyed working with millennials that are first-time buyers, but maybe you live in an area where it's a retirement community. I don't know, this is a stupid analogy, but I'm just trying to think. As long as there is an appropriate pool of people to need your services, that's great. What sort of things would you talk about? So let's say we were talking to the millennials that, they could be millennials. The people that bought their condo and now they have a couple of kids and a dog and they want a house with a yard. What sort of things would they want to know? Well, they'll probably want to know, do I have enough equity in my property to sell it and have money for a down payment on the replacement property? How do I know when that is a good time? If I want to keep that property and rent it out and then buy a new house to live in, what do I need to know about keeping that as a rental? You'll start to gather a list of topics for videos of things that specific person would want to know. And I've heard a lot of people say this, and so there's got to be something to it. Write down like an actual person. Like the couple's names are Katie and Brian. They have 2 children aged 4 and 6. They live in a high-rise condo right now, and they have a beagle. They want to move to the burbs where there's a good school system for the kids. They're afraid that they're going to take a loss if they sell the condo, so they're going to keep that as a rental property. Like, you write a whole profile for this person that you're talking to, and then when you do your videos, imagine that you were talking to Katie and Brian. You're not talking to a stadium full of people. You're not talking to a huge conference room with 500 people in it. You're talking to Katie and Brian. Not only will that make it easier for you when you're doing your video, when you're filming your video, because it's like I'm just talking to my two clients in the conference room. We're just having a chat over a cup of coffee, making a plan, versus I'm speaking in public with 500 people in the audience. So I find that having a very specific ideal customer avatar certainly helps with that as well. The last part of this thing is, would you enjoy talking about those subjects? So for example, if you have been thinking maybe my niche would be investors, and here are all my video topic ideas. What is a cap rate? Does it matter? If the cap rate is 4% or it's 10% and I'm looking at this property to buy, does it matter to me what the cap rate is? Is it better to buy and hold? Is it better to flip? And you're thinking of all these topics, but then you think, would I enjoy talking about this stuff week after week? If the answer is no, then pick another niche, because this needs to be a topic that you're going to be passionate about so that when you're making these videos, it's fun and it comes across on camera. If you're talking about, like if I was talking about the cap rate, my eyes would roll back in my head and I'd fall asleep. That does not interest me very much at all. So is that a topic that I want to talk about week after week after week? No, it is not. So that's how we're going to identify our target audience, our niche, the things that we're going to talk about. And if you don't like those subjects, go back and pick a different niche. And the beauty of this is that we don't all have to have the same niche. So I've got lots of people in my market in Savannah that I am teaching this to, and we all have different niches. One person targets luxury listings. I'm targeting people relocating into the area, most likely that are in the military. You might be talking to young moms, and somebody else might be talking to motorcycle riders. I mean, we can all have a very different niche, and we will appeal to different people. And that's okay, because when you make a great YouTube video, is every single person that watches it going to love your personality and want to work with you? No, that's okay. By being focused like this, we can repel the people that we would not mesh with. And that's just as important, in my opinion, as attracting the people that you do want to work with. It's also repelling the people that you don't. There are certain types of people that I don't want to work with. And so if I put my personality out there and I talk about the things that I am interested in, if they don't like me and they don't gel with my personality, bye, they're gone. That's awesome. I'm not going to end up working with somebody that I can't stand. And you know those people, your phone rings and you're like, oh my God, it's that guy again. God, I hate talking to him. I don't want to. You kind of repel those people out of the gate by being yourself on camera. Awesome. So some sample niches: downsizers, military, millennials, first-time buyers, move-up buyers. What about the whole like zero waste, zero footprint, green home thing, smart home technology? I mean, you can figure out what stuff you really like talking about and then make videos on that subject. So now, how to get those people to find your videos. I've done a bunch of webinars on this, but in a nutshell, you're going to start with a hook. So if your video is, let me think of what a good video would be. Okay, the people that have the condo that want to buy a new house. The idea for the video is, how do I know if I have enough equity in my property to sell it? So now we're going to go onto Google and do some internet research. You can open up Google and type into the search bar, how do I know if I have enough equity to sell? Google is going to drop down a list of 10 suggested searches in its auto suggest feature. It has a name, I can't remember what it is. It might be auto suggest feature. And look at what they're saying. These are all searches that were done in Google by people in the last 30 days. So you can see exactly what people are typing into the search bar. Then there's a tool that you can download for free called Keywords Everywhere, Keywords Everywhere, which is a free plugin to your browser. I know it works on Chrome and Firefox. I think it might work on one other browser as well. But you're going to plug that in, and then when I type that in Google, it's going to show me how many monthly searches am I getting for that exact phrase, and how how much competition is there. So on a scale of 1 to 100, it's actually 0.01 to 0.99, or it might be 1.00. What is the competition? I am looking for anything that I would consider to be low competition, so probably 35 and below. But the lower the number, the better. So if the competition score is 0.08, that's a great score. That means on a scale of 1 to 100, it gets an 8 as far as how hard it will be to rank for that search phrase. So type in your search idea, and if you come back with there's only 12 searches a month being done and the competition is 0.98, okay, how else could I phrase that? Besides, how do I know if I have enough equity? How about, do I have enough equity? Selling your house with equity, selling your house without equity. You're going to just start trying to come up with variations of that phrase, and eventually you will find one that seems to be the clear winner. It's going to get a few hundred searches a month. You don't want something that gets too many. If it gets 10,000 searches a month, unless you've got 3,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, you do not have enough authority with your YouTube channel to be able to rank for that keyword yet. You want something that gets a reasonable amount of searches, but not too much, because where's the best place to hide a dead body? On the second page of Google or on the second page of YouTube, because nobody will scroll that far, right? You've got to be showing up in the top 10 results if you want to be pulling in viewers to your channel. So you need to find something that gets a reasonable amount of search volume, but very low competition. The lower the better. Once you've got some authority on your channel, like my channel now has got some authority. You know, I've got a bunch of views. I've got 1,700 subscribers. I've got, 3,600 hours of watch time on my channel. I have some authority with YouTube. So now I could go after a keyword that gets 10,000 searches a month, or where the competition is 0.75. But when your channel is new, you can't do that, because if you don't rank, no one will ever see the video. So the whole point is to get something that will rank. I'd rather rank in the top three results for something that only gets 100 searches a month than search, number 72, which no one will ever see, for something that gets 1 million searches a month. I totally have not been looking at the comments, so I'm going to have to go through these after we start getting through this. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Callum. So number one, you got to have your keyword research done ahead of time before you ever press the record button. Okay. A lot of people record the video and then they try to go figure out what their keyword should be. You need to do your keyword research up front and then record your video, because then you know exactly what to say in your video. You're going to say that keyword in your video, not 3 different variations of the keyword, but the exact keyword. And for those of you that are not familiar with how the keyword thing works, the keyword is not a word. It is the phrase. So how to sell my house is a keyword. House is also a keyword, but that's far too broad, right? We need to find how to sell my house when I have equity. That is called a keyword. It's basically the search phrase that they're typing into the Google search bar or the YouTube search bar. And I do kind of use those interchangeably because YouTube is owned by Google. So if you do a search in if you do a search in Google, your YouTube videos can show up on the first page of Google results because the two are so interlinked through ownership and whatnot. So we're going to do a hook. Then you want to have a little bit of visual branding, whether that's your logo or your brokerage's logo or the 2 side by side, or like a 5-second clip of videos, like a little video montage of videos that you've done. Very brief, but something that's going to play on every single video. So when people see it, they're like, oh yeah, I've seen that girl before. I know who that is. And it just kind of reinforces your brand in their mind. Then you're going to introduce yourself very briefly. Hey everyone, my name is Karen. I am a realtor in Savannah, Georgia. That's it. We're not telling them how you're a top producer and you've won all these awards and I'm a CDPE and a GRI and all this kind of crap. They don't care. They don't even know what those things are anyway. Go out there and survey 500 people and ask them what a GRI is. If they're not a real estate agent, they're not going to be able to tell you what that is. So don't be bragging about yourself. Just introduce yourself briefly so that they know why you have the authority to be talking about this subject and where you're located. Because if I'm watching you and you rock, but you're in Los Angeles and I live in Manitoba, that's not going to help me very much. So let's tell them where you are located so that if they're located in your market, they know you're local and that you're available to help them. So we did the hook, we did the intro, we did the animated intro and the speaking intro, and now you're going to start talking about your topic of the day. How do I know if I have enough equity to be able to sell my house? Everything that we've done up till now really only takes like 20 seconds. It's not a long time, 20 or 30 seconds. If you are at the 2-minute mark and you have not yet started talking about your topic, cut it out, okay? That might fly with a Facebook Live. That does not fly on YouTube. When somebody is on YouTube and they're looking for a video to watch and you just start rambling for a minute, they're gone. They are not going to stick around and watch that video. You need to get to the topic of the day quickly. So we're not BSing. We're not trying to make it last as long as possible. We're not trying to stall while people come on, like on a Facebook Live. We want to get to the heart of the matter very quickly. And then at the end, we want to have some sort of call to action. And not, hey, if you know anyone looking to buy or sell, here's my phone number, call me. Okay, not that. On YouTube, people don't like to be sold. They want you to help them and give them the information that they're looking for without being a pushy salesperson. So what is a good call to action? How about something like, so now you know how to determine whether or not you have the equity to sell your house. If you are wondering if you need to do a short sale, I did a video once before right here. You should click it and watch that video. So now you're doing a couple of things. You are encouraging them to stay on your channel longer, which means more watch time for you. And YouTube likes that. So now they're going to push your videos up higher in the search results because people are staying on the platform. But it also gives you more face time with that prospect. The more videos of yours that they watch, the more they feel that they know, like, and trust you. And that's when they email you, they call you, they send you a text message, they send you a Facebook message. That's when they reach out to you and they become an actual lead for you. The more videos of yours that they watch, the better of a lead magnet that will be. And then maybe every 4th or 5th video, you will drive them to your website, or you will drive them to a Facebook group that you've created. Like if your niche is like sellers in this one particular town, you might say, hey, I created a free Facebook group all about living in Savannah Quarters. I can't think of a name. Go join that free Facebook group, and maybe you drive them to go there and join. And this is a really cool trick that somebody said. When they request to join the Facebook group, you can ask them questions. So, do you live in this neighborhood now? Do you own or rent? Put in your email address and I will send you some sort of free guide or send you free coupons or something. So if you get them to put in their email address, now you have their name and their email and you can put them on in your database. So that's cool too. So don't do that every single time, because if on every video you drive people away from the YouTube platform, YouTube doesn't like that. It's the same as the Facebook algorithm. They all want to keep people on their own platform. Only do that sporadically, but it is definitely a good way to capture some information. So whenever I do a video for sellers, I always offer something at the end like, do you need to find out what your home is worth? Or do you need my guide for how to stage on a budget? Or do you need my guide on how to get your house ready for the photographer when he's coming to take the pictures? They have to click on the link, they go to my website, they put in their contact information in order to download what it is that I'm giving them, and then I get a lead. Hey, you got a new lead from your website. So-and-so wants a home valuation. And when I call them, hey, this is Karen with Georgia Coast Homes in Savannah. I just got your request. They say, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I feel like I know you already, because they've watched a ton of your videos. So you will rarely get people that put in phony information if you are offering something of value in a way that is not pushy at all, because then they want the information and they would be excited to call you or have you call them because they kind of feel like you're a little local celebrity. And those sort of lead magnets have worked really, really well for me. I have one on my website. I think it's how to, like the VA buyer's guide, how to buy a home with your VA entitlement. That thing has had like 48 downloads. So they work very, very well. And when the people put in their contact information, you just call them, or you have your administrative assistant call them or whatever, and they're excited to talk to you. So I'm going to go through and see what questions I have. God, this font is so small. So I'm going to go past all the people that said no sound, no sound. Yes, we had sound. Okay, cool. The popping sound is everyone typing. That was so funny. Carter is here. Tommy is here. Hello. Let's see. Do you have a sweet spot of an amount of search volume and amount of competition? Yes. I wish I knew who asked that question, but you did not click the link below, so I do not know who asked that question. For a brand new YouTube channel, I'm thinking if it got less than 200 or 300 searches a month and the competition score was less than 0.30, I think that would be good. Now that's a very small amount of monthly search volume, but you're a brand new channel. Or maybe you've got a channel that has 4 listing tours and that's all you've ever really done. So it's okay to go after something with a small search volume in the beginning. Once you kind of get the hang of it, now you've got 2-3 months of videos on your YouTube channel, you can start going things that are a little more competitive. Maybe it gets 300 searches a month. I try to never choose something that gets more than 0.50 for the competition score. I want to give myself the opportunity to rank for this, and I don't want to just rank on page 1. I want to rank like in the top 3 spots. So the lower the competition, the easier it will be for you to rank on that. I try to stay below, okay, so like I said, my channel has some authority now, but still I try to stay below 2,000 searches a month whenever possible. And I find if it gets 700 searches a month, that's 700 people that are being exposed to your content. That's awesome. If you are using the TubeBuddy plugin for your channel, and I love me some TubeBuddy, but I think that their keyword research tool is not really made for small business owners like us, because they think anything that gets less than 1 million searches a month is a bad keyword and it's not worth going after. And that's just not true. We're not selling our services to people all over the world. 75 or 100 people a month who are searching for buying a home in Blandford Crossing. Those are highly, highly targeted prospects. And even though it's a smaller search volume, if there's little competition, you're going to be able to rank for that very, very quickly. So that's my personal opinion on that. Were 40 seconds. I'd never wait for that. Yeah, so I guess you were probably talking about the introduction and all that kind of stuff. If it takes that long, they are out of there. They don't want to listen to you just brag about yourself and how great you are. Who's got time for that? How to tag properly for a local market. Mary, thank you for asking that. So the tags that I like to use are specific to the video. If I'm doing a community tour, like my neighborhood is called Blandford Crossing. If I said, hey everyone, we're here at Blandford Crossing today, let's go check it out. And I drive around the neighborhood and I take lots of video and I take lots of pictures and I say the average home price is, and it takes this long to sell. And here are what the typical homes look like, and here's what the pool looks like, and the pond, and are you allowed to swim in the pond and fish in the pond and boat in the pond, and you're answering all those kinds of questions that people would have about that community. I would tag it things like Blandford Crossing, Rincon, Georgia, Blandford Crossing in Rincon, and all the kind of variations of what people are Googling when they're looking for information on that exact subdivision. Then after I've done all of those, and maybe that's only 3-4 keywords, then I would do like town specific or parish or county or whatever you call the areas where you happen to live. So then I'd start very narrow, and then I'd go a little bit broader, and then I might even end up with like Savannah, Georgia real estate as a tag toward the end. But I'm going to use very specific tags because I want the tags to support the topic of the video. I was having this conversation with somebody this morning. If I'm making a video about moving to Savannah, one of my tags is not going to be how to stage your home, because that's a seller tag. And I'm making a video for buyers. So the tags are going to be specific to the video, And then at the very, very end, I always tag my name and my channel name, because now I'm kind of linking them all together. If I have a whole bunch of videos that all have Georgia Coast Homes as a tag, then they start to show up for each other in suggested search. And that's when somebody does a search on YouTube and every single video that shows up is one of yours, and they think, holy cow, this person's the only realtor in town. And you're like, why, yes, that's exactly it, right? So, somebody said you were so awesome. Thank you as always. Awesome. Do you produce your own guides? I usually do. There are a few guides that I have where, like, I got them for free with the company that hosts my website, or you can get it from realtor.com. It's not realtor.com, it's probably realtor.org, where you download a generic one and then you open it in Canva and you put your own logo and your own contact information in it, stuff like that. For me, like, one of my good lead magnets is I made a relocation guide to Savannah. I went to the Chamber of Commerce and I looked at their relocation guide. It's 110 pages long and 90 of them are advertisements for real estate brokerages. So there's like 12 pages of actual content in the relocation guide. So I went over to Canva and I opened up a new template. And they had something, I don't think it's called relocation guide, but it's called brochure or something like that. And I made my own relocation guide of what would you want to know if you were moving here. And of course it has my logo and my contact information in the footer on every single page. Then I downloaded it as a PDF, I uploaded it to my website, and I password protected it. So now when they're watching my video, if it's like, click here to get your free relocation guide, when they go over there to get it, they got to put in their information. So they don't have to be fancy. I did a home inspection checklist that was literally a Word document that I printed as a PDF. It has no formatting whatsoever except my logo on the first page and the last page. It doesn't have to be fancy or beautiful as long as it has good information in it. Let's see. That link can't be clicked. Well, no, because it's on, unless you have a tablet on Facebook, you'll have to type it in yourself. Sorry about that. Do you use tags for your YouTube channel or only for each video? I do have default channel tags, and they are things like Savannah Realtor, Savannah Georgia Real Estate, my name, stuff like that. And every time I upload a video, it depends on where you upload it from. If I upload it, like if I'm in my video editing software and I download it to my desktop and then I upload it into YouTube, it does not auto-populate it auto-populates the channel tags. If I upload it directly from iMovie, it does not auto-populate the channel tags. Or do I have that backwards? I'm not looking at it, so I can't remember. So you can have your channel tags as a default in every single video that you upload if you want to. I mostly do tags that are specific to the video and then tag myself and tag my channel at the end. So I hope that that was helpful. As I said, I do teach a course called YouTube for Agents. If anybody wants information on that, just go to youtubeforagents.com. I also recently did a webinar that was similar to this, but went a little bit more in depth with the hook and the intro and all that kind of stuff. And I will find the replay link and I will put it in the comments down there. If you ever have 45 minutes that you want to spend and go through that webinar, you are free to do that. But thank you for attending, and please post your questions in this group. Everybody in here is super, super helpful. I try to answer as many of the questions as I can, but now that we've got 400 members in this group, I just simply can't do it. Every time I open Facebook, it's like, you have 57 notifications, and it's just so hard to keep up with. But please, when you have a question, post them in the group. If I don't answer it, lots of other people will step in and do that too. Mary, you're the best. So thank you, everybody. Hope that was helpful, and go make some videos.